It's the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded from Detroit, Michigan, and Jacksonville, Florida. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, album reviews, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Hello, my name is Russ, and along with me this week is Michelle. This is our season finale and kind of, I guess, the show finale in a way. It's the show finale of the way the show is being done for now, I guess. Is what's the best way to say it? Because
it's the finale for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm certain that if and when we do have more episodes of the show in the future, we will at least talk about some things that Michelle did, but Michelle did or said. In the second half of the program, Michelle and I are going to just kind of talk through some fun stuff to do with having done the program now for 3 years. And we have made this abundantly clear, but to everybody wondering, yes, in the future, there probably will be some, I don't know, like surprise episodes of the show or things like that. It's just we are absolutely not going to be doing the weekly grind of everything to do with getting out a show every single week. And our YouTube channel, Infectious Groove Music, is very much still continuing. We have 3 different videos that go up on that channel every single week. So those will continue to go as well. It's just for now, we're not going to be able to do the audio podcast every week. So we will continue to discuss more and great things to do with all things music as we get into more YouTube content that will be coming. So if you do listen to the show and you haven't subscribed over on Infectious Groove Music on YouTube, you definitely should do that because you will get a lot more content over there. Having said that, we've got some feedback to share from the last several episodes that we've done of the audio podcast. So here that goes.
Feedback, John. Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll be without feedback.
Last week, we had a totally epic cover battle for Bob Dylan versus Guns N' Roses and the song Knocking on Heaven's Door. First piece of feedback we got back was from a listener, Tom, who said the Guns live versions from 1987 to 1993 all day. Studio version, not so much, which is more or less my thoughts on it, too. And we had discussed on the episode, too, how from like 87, 88, 89, 90, the live versions of Knocking on Heaven's Door were like very well known by Guns N' Roses fans. And for many of us, the version that came out on Use Your Illusion 2 was like a pretty big letdown compared to like, you know what I mean? Like what we had been hearing. But then there's like a whole generation of people who that's all they know is the version from Use Your Illusion, you know? So it's kind of a weird situation for GNR fans to be in. So
why? Because one sucks?
It's not even, it doesn't even suck. It's just like a lot of us who heard it before that version like it way better. And then a lot of people, that's the only version that they know is that studio version. Aaron from I Had to Say It writes in regarding the same episode, says another epic battle and another instance of Seth making me feel like an old. I actually heard the Bob Dylan version first, and it was because of my parents. But it was because of my parents. Thank you very much, Aaron says. Nick Macchiato writes in and says, so your talk about great vocal range had me remembering a now defunct band called Fair to Midland. They were one of my favorite bands back in the day, but the first time I heard their vocalist's vocal range, I was stunned. Check out their song Dance of the Manatee as a great example, which we will do. We love when the listeners tell us stuff to listen to.
You love it.
Yes, I know you don't. Last couple of things to share. Our friend Dayton said, with you guys leaving, I guess I have to find another podcast for Monday to take the Monday spot. That won't be easy. Thank you for exposing me to more music, always making me laugh and always being the best part of my Monday, which is a very, very sweet thing to say.
Aww.
Then our friend Dean over in the UK added on to that and said, I second this. It's been great to be on this journey with so many others and seeing and hearing you guys go from strength to strength. I'm absolutely gutted that we'll be missing the regularly scheduled episodes, and it's great that you'll still grace us with a few episodes down the road. Another thing I've always enjoyed is the interviews that you guys managed to score. It exposed me to many different artists and their backgrounds, which is another feather in your bow. Also, the video content that you guys put on YouTube is up there with the best out there, and the hard work you guys always put into them is really appreciated. So that was very nice, I thought, as well. So kind of I assume next week on Twitter, we'll have a lot of people writing in about, this being the last of the audio episodes and whatnot. So I thought it was nice that there were a few people that reached out ahead of time to let us know what they thought, which I thought was cool. So we will move on to our next segment, our jammies. I have a couple of very weird songs. Like not that the songs themselves are weird, just that they kind of were all bunched together in my head this week is my Jammy Jams. First of all is a Kelly Clarkson song that I think was like a pretty big hit at the time, but I don't think anybody really remembers is she had a song called Mr. Know-It-All that I really, really, really love. And the chorus, like the verses.
Who doesn't know that song?
I didn't say nobody knows it. I said it was a big hit when it came out. And I think it got forgotten fairly quickly. Like, I don't think it's one that many people think of, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the verses are fine and everything, but I think the chorus is just so damn catchy, and she's just such an excellent vocalist. So I've had that song stuck a lot in my head. One you're going to be really upset that I had stuck in my head is the one Mumford & Sons song you don't like, which is Darkness Visible from their album Delta. I just absolutely adore that song. It's one of my favorite Mumford & Sons songs. Obviously they love it, as you saw by the time when we went and saw them live, and it was like absolutely the centerpiece of the entire concert.
I don't recall.
Right. And then yet again, I bought Culture Club tickets. They are touring this summer, and I'm really, really excited to go see Culture Club again. So because of that, Lauren actually asked me to start kind of giving her a like a rundown of other songs, like besides just their big hits, right? So like not Karma Chameleon or Do You Really Want to Hurt Me and that type of thing. Right. So because of that, I have been listening a lot to a song called Move Away, which was like a mild hit. I think it hit like the top 30 or something like that. But really, really, really love that song by Culture Club, Move Away. So I've had that a lot in my head. And then the other one that was not even close to a hit, but is one of my absolute favorite Culture Club songs, is a beautiful love song from their Don't Mind If I Do album. It's called Strange Voodoo, and it's just such a great song. Really, really, really strong love song that I don't think many people even, to this day, probably a lot of people don't even understand a lot of what's going on in those lyrics, and it's really something else. I love that. So kind of four completely, well, I mean, even the Culture Club songs are very different from each other. One is a very big ballad, and the other one is almost a Motown sounding song. And then those, of course, sound different from the Mumford & Sons cut, and all of which sound different from the Kelly Clarkson cut. So I've had a lot of weird, different stuff stuck in my head this week. Michelle.
Weird, good stuff, though.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. What audiobook were you listening to?
No audiobooks this week. I have two that you'll like and one that you'll hate.
Okay, good.
Noah Kahan did a duet, I guess what you would call it, with Wesley Schultz of the Lumineers. And they cover
how are we confused if it's a duet or not?
They don't sing at the same time.
But they sing on the same track, yeah?
They both sing on the same track.
Then that's a duet.
They tag team the song.
You're under the impression that a duet is only when people are singing at the same time?
No.
That's not a duet.
Says who?
I'm saying that's not the only thing that makes a duet. You can, like, have you ever heard like Leather and Lace by Don Henley and Stevie Nicks?
No.
Okay. Islands in the Stream. Like,
yes.
Okay. Tons of songs where people don't sing at exactly the same time.
They sing the chorus together.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways.
So go on.
So Noah Kahan and Wesley Schultz from the Lumineers cover Jason Isbell and the 400 watts, I think. Let me look that up before I get it wrong. And the 400 unit.
All right.
Way off. So I like a lot of covers of Jason Isbell's that other people sing, but then when I go to listen to Jason Isbell songs, I don't love them.
I'm the same way.
I think he's just an excellent lyricist.
Right.
But anyways, the song is called If We Were Vampires, and I love the lyrics, and obviously I love both of the singers on this duet. So if you like Jason Isbell or any of these people, you should check it out. And then I know we don't like robots, but I've been listening to this AI robot on Spotify when I can't figure out what I want to listen to. And it was like, hey, these are songs you were listening to in 2018 in the summertime. Maybe this will get you in the mood. And I was like, fuck yeah. And the first one that's been stuck in my head is Take Your Mama by Scissor Sisters.
Oh, what a jam.
Like, how can that not put you in a good mood? It's like literally impossible.
It's one of the happiest songs I've ever heard in my life.
And it's one of those songs where I'll go through periods of my life where I just forget it exists, and then it pops up, and then I'm obsessed with it for a really long time.
You know what song I honestly don't know? You may or may not know by them, though, that's in absolutely the same category, is I Don't Feel Like Dancing.
Of course I know that song.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you know about the Scissor Sisters.
We went and saw them live.
Oh, okay. So just so I'm clear, if you and I have ever been to a concert, then you know every song that band's ever done?
Every song that they've done live. and at that concert where I was at.
Boy, you got to be real happy this show's ending so you never have to back up what you just said.
Go on.
But yes, I Don't Feel Like Dancing, I think is such a peppy, upbeat, great song. You talk about a song that like sounds so happy, but is not.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But it's fine. Just bop your head along to it.
Right. Yeah. But I Take Your Mama. I love that song so much. It's one of the few songs in life. And actually I remember, hearing that song and another song I heard on the exact same day for the first time ever. So I remember. Was
your like mind blown?
Absolutely. But I remember for sure the day was July 5th, 2008 was the day that I heard Take Your Mama for the first time. And the same day I heard All These Things That I've Done by the Killers the same day. And it was because of Pink Floyd reuniting for Live 8. So I was watching that concert all day, and
I don't believe you.
There was nothing through the concerts that I didn't like, but those I remember distinctly hearing those two songs for the first time that day and being like, "Holy crap!"
Are you an insistent that I was there for this?
You were at my house for part of that day, yes, you were. But it like that's real. There's absolutely no need to continue arguing this. But you were 100% at my house during that day. You might not have been there for the whole day, but you were there for people work.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. So anyways, what else are we listening to?
Oh, and your favorite song, the better known Rosanna by Wax.
Oh yeah, no. Well, if I had gone the whole rest of my life without being reminded of that song, I would have been real happy.
I thought we were trying to be upbeat.
I don't know what you mean trying to be upbeat.
We're not supposed to say this sucks.
Oh yeah, well I at no point did I say that song sucks. I said if I go the rest of my life without hearing that.
They said, "Oh my God, this song sucks if I go the rest of my life."
Okay, well, I guess what I meant to say was if I go the rest of my life without hearing that wonderful song, I guess.
I know. It's not even that good, but it's so catchy and I can't turn it off.
It is not any good at all. And I just, man, I'm really upset that I remember that song now. So
I'm sorry.
Is that everything that you've been listening to?
That is with an honorable mention from Caribou that came out.
Oh, yeah. There's a song that's terrible that I don't mind remembering. At least that's a fun song.
That actually came on this morning as I was dropping Beckett off for school. And I was like, yeah, let me roll up school parking lot. Yeah. Caribou blasting.
Sure.
Yeah. So I finished it when I got to work. So nice. Don't worry.
So before we take a break, just so I know, and I guess the listeners know, are you going to put together the playlist one more time for everybody with the songs?
One more again.
Right on. Cool. All right.
This will be the one that lives in infamy. Oh, Caribou is going to live in infamy.
Great. Speaking of taking a break, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, Michelle and I are going to talk through a couple of points and stuff about just having done a music podcast together for some time now, just over 3 years. And take you through the last part of the second half of our last audio episode for a little while. You're listening to the Infectious Groove Podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
This is Beer in Front. Every week I'll talk about a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we get those check-ins and badges. Being the Chicago beer guy, I'll also talk about great craft beer in the city of Chicago. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. That's Beer in Front, part of the Odd Pods Media Network.
I'm Richie, a.k.a. Midnight Agent Raw.
I'm Devin, a.k.a. Special Delivery Dev.
We're the Super Media Bros Podcast. And each week, we give a comedically informative take on movies,
music,
television,
pro wrestling,
and much more. Check us out at supermediabrospodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that you can listen to podcasts. Shades on.
We're off.
We are back. It's Russ and Michelle walking you through the last of the audio portions of the Infectious Groove podcast here for a little while. We will plan to have some episodes in the future that'll be kind of surprise stuff here and there. But what we are not going to do is put ourselves through the grind anymore of doing a weekly show, because there is just too much going on in all of our lives to be able to keep up with. Bringing
bi-weekly was just so hard.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I
it's
don't
way
know how to
harder
say this
for you.
nicely, but like, yeah, this is like 1,000 times harder for me. So it, is a lot to keep up with. And my big thing is that I don't feel like at any point we ever put out a like bad episode or a bad series of episodes. And I did not ever want it to get to the point where that's what it became, a bad series of episodes. So I would rather make sure that the show maintained the quality that I feel like it had the entire time. And then, just take a break. And if we want to do it again someday, or if we have other stuff that we can do under the Infectious Groove Music brand, like we do over at YouTube or whatever, then that would be a good way to go. So having said that, we just came up with a bunch of points of things we were going to talk through for this last episode and stuff, since it would be kind of weird to do like an album review or I don't know, a music topic.
Just mic drop at the end.
Yeah. Just be like, this album sucks and bye, So having said that, Michelle, I'm sure you're super duper prepared for all these questions. So I'm going to start right off by asking you the first question that we had in there, which was if you have any favorite moments from the show over the past 3 years or so.
I really enjoyed learning the whole podcast. The whole podcast. I had never been on a podcast. I had never been involved in a podcast, let alone on a weekly podcast. And I feel like that was very exciting for me just to get involved. I always hear people do it, but never really
like
thought
actually
that I
be
could.
Like part of
the
podcast community. Yeah.
I thought that, there was nothing that anybody would want to listen to me talk about. And so I was like, oh, that's just not for me. So
yeah, no, I get that as well. What's funny is you and many other people that I know that are in the podcast community, like heavily listen to other podcasts. And I didn't before having a podcast, and I still don't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. And we've had many people on who I've like praised on our show for liking their show. Like just a laundry list of people we've had on, like a couple of different shows. Seth's on, our friend Aaron, Dayton, Sean and Chris. I mean, everybody on the Odd Pods Media. I mean, like if I start trying to hit everybody, I'm going to make sure I'm going to absolutely leave somebody out and upset somebody. Right. So I'll just cut myself off. But so what I've done, and I think I've made this clear to you over time, Michelle, like whenever anybody's asked to come on our show, or if somebody's asked me to come on their show, I always listen to their shows, at least 2 or 3 episodes, like to see if it's somebody that I would like to have on our show.
Yeah.
And
make sure we mesh.
Yeah. And if you listen over the years, you will hear we have had certain people back on several times, and other folks not so much. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And, and there's a lot of social media, for lack of a better term, horseshit that goes on with the podcasting community. And the people who have been on our show, I feel like just want to put out good shows and not worry about like all the grandstanding and all the horseshit that comes along with social media. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, and so that's why I, very much like the people that we've been involved with in the podcast community. For me, some of my favorite stuff, like of course the interviews that we've done has been awesome, but one thing that really sticks out to me, and it's funny because I have something, kind of an adverse point about this same thing in a second here, but the feedback that we've got on the show, which kind of ties in with what you said, Michelle, like in a way you're like, I'm surprised anybody would care what I had to say.
I'm still not convinced that you're not making these people up.
Okay. Well, you know what sucks about that? And I'm being 100% honest right now. Like, I know you believe that. Like, I know you think that I'm making all this up.
I mean, I don't actually think you're making it up, but it's
I think
like,
you do,
I
though.
can't, I can't wrap my head around the fact that other people are interested. I fully support that they're interested in what you have to say, which is why we pushed you to do a podcast, to begin with. But I just don't have any, it is mind-boggling to me that anybody cares what I say.
On a total side note, by the way, first of all, I'm going to argue your point in a second, because there's absolutely no reason why everybody wouldn't be interested in what you have to say. Second of all, we were sitting on the couch the other night and I said something was mind-boggling, and I got all the way to the end of my thing and Lauren was like, did you just say mind-boggling? And so but without missing a beat though, I was like, yeah, like when things get all trapped up into your brain like a bottle. And I'm pretty sure before I explained that it was from Blades of Glory, I'm pretty sure she thought she married an idiot.
Yeah. Kyle says that now every time I say mind bottling, he's like, oh yeah. Like when he finishes the quote.
Yeah. Like when everything gets bottled up in your mind. But yeah, first of all, like you know, I know we do the running joke thing about like, you know, you're listening to books on tape or whatever else. Like, and I've told you this before in our personal lives, like you're one of the smartest women that I've ever met. And I've known a lot of smart women. And so the fact that you are like continually like, oh, why would anybody care what like, I don't know if you're aware of the age that we're living in now, but like people have learned now to pay attention to smart women. So that's why
we're moving on up.
Yeah. That's why people would be interested in what you
I guess
say.
I know that, and I'm not trying to brag. I know that I'm quick-witted and funny. Like I feel like those are my strengths, but I don't always necessarily think that means that people want to listen to my opinions. And so that is what, and I guess, so I can't wrap my brain around it, but like I am so blessed that like, obviously it's true because we're here.
Right.
You know, I've seen what we can do on this show and I've heard the feedback and I've seen people message me, you know, so I don't actually think you're lying, but it's just something that like I am in denial about.
Well,
I just can't.
Let me tell you what I think. And I've learned this over time, not necessarily from you, but from you and other people. The big difference between how you're quick-witted, in my opinion, and how many other people are is, and I was literally just dealing with this earlier today on Twitter. Somebody was doing this to Lauren on Twitter. People are so concerned with being seen as smart that they're more concerned with trying to be seen as smarter than you. Right. Like snarky.
Oh no.
Right. And your humor, like it's very smart and very quick witted, but you're also very self-depreciating. Right. Which I think is something that most people like because they're not used to seeing that. Right.
Yeah.
Like I say, there's just a ridiculous amount of snark that goes around on the internet. And I think it's refreshing for people to see, you know, like a self-depreciating type of thing. The other thing I was going to say about feedback, and this is still positive because I also have something very negative to say about feedback as well, but is the sheer amount of where you can think that like, yeah, I live in Jacksonville now, you know, but you and I have known each other for, 20 years in our little world in Redford, Michigan, you know, having feedback come in from like, I don't know, 40 some states, from India, from Iran, from Japan, from the UK.
We interviewed those guys from where was it? Like Pakistan or something?
The Doties, we spoke to them while they were in Pakistan, and then we interviewed Arnel Pineda, from the lead singer of Journey, and he was in the Philippines, like physically in the Philippines, what we did, you know, and like the amount of people around the world who have interacted with us is insane to me.
That is just mind-boggling, like in
the best way, like insane in the best way.
Like, I can't believe that there are other people on different, like, let alone different states, different continents that have heard my voice.
Yeah, which is crazy, I think, which is awesome. So the next question that I wanted to ask, and
wait, I didn't even finish mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I did. I didn't know you.
I had one, but I had another one.
Who was to expect that you were going to have more from the show that you like? But go on.
I don't want to admit this out loud, but I feel like I have been turned on to a lot of music. And I do think that it's something that I begrudgingly accept at this point. Like, I feel like I still am stuck in my ways, but I do feel like I've been turned on to so many things that I wouldn't have necessarily listened to willingly.
Yeah.
Whether it's like album reviews or cover battles or suggestions from listeners or making the playlist. And I'm like, I always wanted to listen to that song. I've learned so much. And I've discovered so many new things that I would have not otherwise done.
So we're going to, in a little bit, we're going to get into like, hopefully you have some examples of artists and albums that like you would have never heard of without the show. We are going to get into that in a little bit. But one point that I'm glad that you made just now is it's not just stuff that you heard of from me or Kyle on the show. Like you said, like listeners, like somebody's through feedback being like, oh, Michelle, you should check this out because if you like this, you'll like that or whatever. I think that's awesome.
And I've even checked out things that I didn't necessarily like, but I don't think that is a bad thing. Like, I think that that's just the way of life. And I think that I think you're listening,
even giving it a chance is much, you're miles ahead of what, again, you know, a lot of, and especially in the music appreciation circles. You get people that are very much like they like what they like. And if somebody says, you know, hey, listen to this, and it's not something you already like, then you kind of dismiss it. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you've had, you know, even given stuff a chance that you kind of went into knowing you might not like. Right.
Yes. That was just my other point, is that I learned a lot and I have experienced a lot throughout this podcast.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the next question we were going to ask, is have you learned anything from the show? And for me, there's a couple of different things that I've learned, like just from the technical side of things. Like I learned so much about like I knew a okay amount about audio production and stuff, but like I kind of feel like I've grown with the show, like as far as knowing how to even put stuff out on the internet or how to even get things done. Like, for example,
I think that we rocketed so far. Like we were like, here's these rinky dink like headphones and these microphones, not that microphones are rinky dink, but like, and then like, here's the soundboard. And then like within like 6 months, you're like, look at all these things that I found. And it was just like this grandiose thing. And I think that is great. I think that you would never stop learning and looking for the best, you know, for the podcast, which is wonderful.
Which is good. That makes me happy to be able to learn. Like I was just recently did a guest spot on somebody else's podcast, and I said one of the things that I've learned in life to be happy about is being happy to say the phrase like, oh, I'm happy to be wrong, or like, oh, I'm happy to learn something new. Right. And this has been a big part of that for me. Another thing that I learned from this type of thing, and this is where the negative side of the feedback is going to come in. Nothing at all negative as far as like the actual feedback. Like I say, the internet's full of snarky crap, right? So like it's actually very easy for me to set aside like the snarky comments we get and whatever else, you know, and just and focus on the positive. But one thing I did learn is I put entirely too much pressure on myself with making that feedback segment a weekly thing. Like that, if we were ever going to do this show again in any form, feedback would absolutely not be part.
Do we bring back music news?
I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of like, see, the thing is, being a slave to the weekly format is what the problem is. Cause like some weeks or, you know, some months, nothing of any consequence happens in music news. Right. And then, you know, other times with feedback, like we get people, you know, every week we get stuff, but it's a pain to like gather it all and make sure you give, because it's not, we don't just read people's stuff and then go, oh, hey, thanks for that. Like we comment on it and, you know, like try and continue the conversation and stuff. And that's across 3 different social media platforms, in addition to reading it on the show. And then when people hear us read it, we follow up on that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was a lot more work that it was a fun segment to have, but added way too much work to me to keep up with. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely makes sense.
So, but now earlier you were talking about one of the things you learned from the show was like different artists and stuff, which we'll go into in a bit, but are there other things that you learned from this whole experience that you're not even maybe surprised by, but just other things you've learned from it?
This one was a hard one for me because I feel like I definitely,
because you already know everything.
Nope. I feel like I learned so much. I mean, we went through a pandemic during this podcast. And we learned how to adapt. We learned how to, you know, like do so many things that it wasn't, I feel like I'm just not even close to the same person that we were when we started this podcast. And I feel like this podcast has a lot to do with it. Like obviously, you know, personal life aside, but I feel like this is just something that we have grown and evolved and we've learned to, you know, love and nurture. And like I mentioned before, podcasting in general is something that was always very elusive to me. And I just feel like have learned so much. I mean, not really because you do all the button pushing, but I mean like just showing up and, you know, having stuff to talk about that you do and where to post it, which, you know, we'd figured out a long time ago. And I can't even imagine. I feel like this was a very eye-opening experience in general for everything across the board. Like listening to new music and learning it and meeting new people. I feel like that was a great thing. There's several people that we've met through here, either through feedback or call-ins, or they've been guests on the show that, you know, I'm sure those relationships will continue on. So, yeah,
for sure. Yeah, definitely. There's like, as much as I say that there are a lot of negatives to the social media aspect of podcasting, there are definitely people from the podcast community that I would absolutely call friend. And, like it's crazy, but now given the climate that I live in now, like a lot of people, like when we get around to winter, there's people in the podcast community that are like, oh, hey, you're in a warmer climate, right? Like we're going to come down and see you, like, and, hang out with people that you never would have met without
I feel like music like that is like that a lot in general.
Yeah.
Just the music community. I mean, obviously there's people that suck, but like, I feel like you can find close lifelong friendships,
right.
listening to similar musics. And so, you've
literally, yeah.
You've introduced me to other people prior to this, like Otto for one, like I still, we're friends on social media and whatever. And so like, it's just like friendships that I would have never had if it wasn't for music or the podcast.
No, I totally agree. Yep. You touched on this a little bit earlier, and I wanted to talk about, I have at least two examples of myself. One's from you and one's from Kyle, actually. But were there any new artists or albums that you can think of? And again, this doesn't have to be like a complete list or anything, but new albums or artists and stuff that you got turned on to because of the show. Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head?
I got turned on to so many things, and I don't remember if it was specifically from the show or if it was something that like just the three of us had talked about, like because we have that chat, so I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but
most of the time when we talk in that chat, it ends up on the show.
Hi.
Hola.
You made it.
Barely.
Kyle has joined the show, and he is so much louder than Michelle. Can you pull your mic away? No, Michelle, leave your mic where it is. Kyle, pull yours. There we go. Yeah, when you joined, you're on the same channel, so I can't really do anything about the audio. So.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, anyways,
did you put your Manscaped shirt on for this episode?
Yes.
Nice. Well done. Well, what we were just talking about, Kyle, was artists or albums that you have been turned on to because of the show, like because of and if you're never going to believe this, I'm glad you are sitting down when you joined us, but Michelle couldn't answer the question.
I was gonna say Billie Eilish, and I don't remember if it was from the show, like or Kyle or you guys, but I feel like I liked the one song, but then when her new album came out, I was just like, man. And then you guys, I don't remember how this chain of events.
No, I feel like that was because of the show. I feel like both Kyle and I were probably talking about it so much that you were.
Oh, and another one. What's that guy's name? Oh, Yellow Wolf. I feel like Kyle always brought up Yellow Wolf, and it was on the playlist so much because it was his jammy jams, and now I enjoy his music, his whole catalog. Well, not his whole catalog, probably because I haven't listened to it, but a lot of his catalog.
You know how we talked about genre switching that artists do, and sometimes it's not really very good.
Yes.
Yellow Wolf pulled a genre switch, and he has an actual like full like pop rock album out, and it's actually really good.
Wow, that's pretty rad.
Yeah. What?
Go ahead.
I believe it involves Shooter Jennings too. So like he had Shooter Jennings along with him to do all this stuff. I don't know, but they're like kind of like a little group, I guess. I don't know, but it's good.
Nice. Do you have any examples of stuff, Kyle, that you got turned on to through the show? It doesn't have to be like a complete list or anything in specific, but just maybe an artist or an album or anything that you could think of.
The first thing that comes to mind is Green Lung.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Which is fantastic. Yeah.
What's his name?
Will.
Yeah. Shout out to Will.
Yeah, he was Will from the UK, a big supporter of the show, and he, as far as I'm aware, last I heard from him, he had opened up his own record store. And,
I follow him on social media still.
Yeah, and that's why his podcast shut down because he's a new parent and and has a record store.
Great for him.
Yeah, things to tend to like that. The two artists that I can think of that I got turned on to specifically because of the show, because of both of you talking about them on the show, was Maggie Rogers and Matt Mason.
Oh yeah,
which is two artists that I really didn't know. I mean, I don't think I'd even heard of either of them. I don't think without both of you talking about him on the show.
Yeah, I want to feel like we all, Kyle and I kind of fell into him at the exact same time. And then we were doing the podcast at the same time. So I feel like it was very coincidental.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's crazy that you mentioned him because that's literally one artist that I listen to him every single day.
Well, Matt Mason.
Yeah.
Right on.
In some fashion or another, he ends up on a playlist that I'm playing when I'm driving the car, or like I'm intentionally listening to his new album or whatever it is, but literally every day.
Are you going to see him when he's in Jacksonville?
I didn't know. Is he coming to Jacksonville?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Well, I will have. I was unaware. I guess I'll have
Oh,
to.
I thought I sent it to you. Maybe I didn't.
Maybe you did. I didn't. I don't believe so. This is and this is for a discussion offline. This is such a weird concert market down here. Like it's so weird because it's absolutely not a music city in any way, shape, or form, or anywhere near the level Detroit is. So like, you, at least me, I never hear about anything coming show wise until like the day before. Like there's like, it's hard to describe. There's like no hype
Promotion.
Yeah, it's very strange down here. It's like very, very, very strange. There's, yeah. So if I had heard about it, I won't hear about it again until like the day before the show, and then I'll be like, oh yeah.
Oh, it's sold out. But it was.
There you go, Russ. You're going to see him. It's sold out.
Yep.
It's June 10th. It could have been your early birthday present. But
I will be in
It's at
Orlando
the-
that day, anyways.
Point Vedra Concert Hall.
Oh, that's where I just saw Lone Bello there.
Okay. Anyways. moving on.
Pontevedra.
Oh, is that how you say it?
That is how you say it.
Oh.
I know because Zach from the Lone Bello said it about 100 times during the show because he really enjoyed
You
saying.
trust him?
He enjoyed saying Pontevedra. No, I trust the people who live in the city that we were in who were saying it that way, but it was also funny that Zach was saying that. But Kyle, you did join us just in time for the very last question that we had lined up for the show, which is, and this one I think is at least fun. Was there anything that we never covered on the show that you always wanted to? Like, I don't mean like, oh, I was hoping we were going to cover this album or this artist or whatever, but like, was there a topic or anything like music related that you could think of that I have one, but it's like fairly new. So it's like, I guess we weren't going to have a chance to cover it, but do either of you have any that you can think of like topics or any, or even if it could be an album or artist that you wanted us to cover that we never did?
I said this last week, but I really wish I would have picked that Jimmy Eat World for a album review.
We just had somebody on Twitter the other day say that they realized they're late to the party, but they just now became a big, huge Jimmy Eat World fan. And I replied to them and told them that you would be pleased to find that out.
I am very pleased. You can relay my pleasantries.
Will do. Kyle, anything you can think of that even an artist or an album or anything that you wish we would have covered that we never did?
No, I don't think so. I think that nothing. When you ask that, nothing jumps out right away. I can't maybe if I was to think about it for a while, I could come up with something, but nothing like offhand.
Gotcha. For me, the big thing, and again, this is such a new thing, but I absolutely, if the show was going to do another season, we absolutely would have ranted about AI and music. And
Oh my God, yeah.
And this thing where now all of a sudden, if you just go to YouTube today, like even in its infancy, the amount of fake AI songs that are out there is insane. And
I heard on the radio the other day that Timbaland either released a song or just put it on a social media, but it's him and Biggie. And it's AI Biggie, and it sounds fucking awful. Like even the Timbaland parts sounds awful.
Well, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube right now that sounds amazing. But
yeah, we could have done a whole series about AI and all the crazy shit that's going on with that.
Yeah, and it's just insane to me what's going on with all of that.
Oh, I have one.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
I wish that we could have done what we talked about in the beginning, is like recording live from places, which pandemic, but I was really looking forward to that, to like setting up somewhere and like, I don't know, I thought it would be cool and interesting and people could come and meet us or whatever. Not that we're that famous, but in Michigan, but just sit down and like do stuff like that.
I don't know, man. Me and Russ got recognized in person, so
yeah,
we're
that's
pretty
true.
famous.
Well, you guys are famous.
Right. But no, there was twofold to that. One, you already mentioned the pandemic kind of shut that down in the first half of the show. And then, me moving 1,000 miles away kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure that's really inconvenient that you did that right as the pandemic was ending. So
right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
But I do feel like maybe if there wasn't a global pandemic for 3 years, that maybe in that time we could.
Oh, no, for sure. Definitely.
So I really thought that we were going to be able to do that and like pass out business cards and like do all that fucking shit at like a record store. So
yeah, well,
maybe in the future, maybe 5-10 years down the road, we'll be doing that.
So if we start the show back up, you're saying you're going to do more for it next time?
in person.
No, it'll be AI Michelle this time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Can you do an AI?
Yeah, we can. Believe it or not, we can with the with all that technology that's out there and how
And
much
amount of
recordings we have.
how much recording? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah,
Or
so
like concert reviews. Like we would all go to concerts and like do that kind of thing. And like that's the stuff that I was really looking forward to that kind of got shut down.
yeah, and again, pandemic really was the thing that.
But I also believe in, on the other hand, that this helped like all of us get through like the three of us and a lot of other people get through a really tough time.
Yeah,
like,
especially too if you listen to like the back when we did we were up to 2 episodes a week for a while because people were asking for it because that's how the album tournament came about.
Yeah, and like it also the album tournament, that was fun. I would like to do that again. I want to pick the albums though this time. Anyways,
wait, you want to pick the albums? You want to pick the albums and judge the album tournament?
no, I don't want to judge it. Someone else judges it.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess you know what we'll do is
Are you writing this down?
we will tell our listeners, our current listeners, if our current listeners really, really, really super duper want more episodes like they all keep telling us that they do, then go back and listen to that album tournament again and tell us if you would like us to do another album tournament. And if so, then I will get at Michelle about her picking the albums and how we would even go about that. Because we could do that as a you know how they bring series back for like a limited run, like they bring the X-Files back for like a season or whatever.
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
We could do that and just do maybe we could just do like an album tournament a year or something. Because I don't know, what was that, 8 episodes or something like that?
I thought it was way more than that.
No, maybe I think it was 8 albums, so it was 16 episodes, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that's more accurate.
But we could do something like that. Come down and be still.
Maybe not do it every week. Maybe like every other week or something.
Sure, I still though.
Once a month.
I still maintain you're the one that told us we had to do this every week. So
I did.
You absolutely were the one that told us we had to do this every week.
That does not sound.
I'm telling you, that's what happened. So, having said that, we are going to wrap things up here. And again, like I say, we've got the YouTube side of things. Apparently, Michelle is raring to do another album tournament. So apparently, we have other things that we can be doing in the future.
The Lombello concert. It would just be 2 different concerts.
Right. Yep. We could. I don't know if the Detroit set list is on setlist.com or not, but the Pantra Vidre set list is, that's for sure. So before I wrap us up and take us out of here, do y'all have anything to add, throw out to the audience one more time before we wrap this up, and then tell everybody to hightail it over to YouTube and make sure you're subscribed over there?
I would just like to thank everybody, because I don't think that we would be here 3.5 years later if right, is it 3 years?
Yeah, it's like 3.5.
Shit, I don't think we'd be where we are. We would not be where we are without people listening to us and interacting with our show and calling in. And we also would absolutely not be where we are without Russ and all of his hard work and everything that he does for the show, which is everything besides everything that you are listening to and hearing in the questions and everything like that. Literally everything. I just show up and talk. So
and sometimes that's a struggle for you.
Well, most times that's a struggle.
Yep.
So, I would just like to say thanks to Russ for everything that he does for us,
nice
because Kyle and I are little slackers. But
I believe that's the first time in 3.5 years you've said thank you. So I appreciate that.
I can't recall another time, but I feel like it happened.
Right.
But I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
I know
really
that you
do mean that because absolutely Kyle and I obviously are too lazy to get our shit together. So we need somebody like you. And so I think that, at least I do. I appreciate everything that you keep our asses in line and keep our rears in gear, and, we wouldn't do it without you. So thanks. And all the fans, obviously. So thanks. Right
on. Kyle, anything for you to add before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah, you're like what she said. I'm out.
we somehow made it through a global pandemic, a move across country, all of these things that we would not have even entertained the idea of going forward if it wasn't for the people listening. So it's been awesome.
Right on. Yeah, I have to say that the listeners has been, like, we covered this earlier before you were able to get on, Kyle, but the fact that we've had, I don't know, at least written in feedback from at least, I don't know, 20 different countries that I can think of, where we've been blown away that somebody in this corner of the world or that corner of the world was listening to what we had to say about something and felt compelled to write something in, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
we had the guy from Iran.
Yeah.
That was like consistently.
Well, I was telling Michelle earlier, I know off the top of my head, I know for sure. I mean, a ridiculous amount of states, like something like 30 or 40 states we've heard from people in. But the countries off the top of my head that I know we've heard from is South America, Africa, the UK, England, Ireland, Japan, and Iran. Like off the top of my head, I know that we've heard from people who have listened to us in those countries, which I think is amazing.
Didn't we? Oh, we were going to interview those Australians. No, we never did.
Which Australians?
Kyle's friends.
What? Wait, who was that?
Yeah, it was like you were like, oh, I got their contact or whatever, and we emailed them, and then we never got the timing right.
Oh, I do. Yeah, there was somebody that was your Jammy Jams, Kyle, and I can't remember. I can't remember who it is now.
Shit,
I do know the only
no.
one. I will say this: I've never talked about this before. That the only interview that I'm super bummed didn't work out that I was working on was, by way of a long story, I had gotten in touch with Roy Hay, who is the guitar player for the Culture Club, who is one of my all-time favorite bands. And it was more than a few times it came close to being able to work out, getting to interview him, and that never worked out. To say that makes it sound like I'm discounting the interviews that we did get to do, like the Taj Jackson and Arnel Pineda and Jeff Scott Soto. Like, I'm not discounting any of those interviews. Bill Champlin, like all the interviews that we did that were great. I don't mean to discount any of those, but like Culture Club is one of my all-time favorite bands, and that would have been awesome to interview the guitar player for that band. So I'm bummed that didn't work out, and it came so close a couple of times, but I never even talked about it on the show because I didn't want to jinx it, and then it ended up not happening.
And we went at one point we went viral for a minute there, and it was like crazy. And I know it's like common now that like everything goes viral, but like that was crazy shit. I never been a part of anything that went like crazy on the fucking internet before.
Yeah, getting involved in that blabbermouth.net article.
Yeah.
And that whole thing came from Steve Gorman, the drummer of the Black Crowes, who's one of my favorite bands of all time. So to get to interview him, and then on top of that, have it go nuts when I wasn't even trying to get a quote out of him, but he just kept insulting the Robinsons so much that they were like picked up on it. So
who was our first interview? What was that guy's name?
Ocean Ship.
Yeah, Ocean Ship was the first interview we did.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like in a good way. I mean, like we've learned a lot and we've moved forward. And so I literally to this day, I don't know why, that is one of my core memories of doing this show is me on my phone. Cause I'm pretty sure it was like right after the pandemic had started. So I'm like on my actual cell phone, pacing in the basement, like just listening to this interview and like being like, I don't know, do I talk? Like, can I get a word in edgewise? Like, I don't know what's happening. And so I think that is going to be one of the memories that sticks with me for a long time.
Nice. And then, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. For anyone who is concerned about me stepping away from the show, there's no like bad blood between me and anybody else. It just, I'm either zero. I'm either zero.
You and Michelle.
I'm either 0 or 100. There's no in between. Mentally, I didn't feel that I could give my 100, so I just stepped back, and that was it. No, nothing more, nothing less.
Right on.
You've got babies to take care of,
right? And then, so Michelle, going forward though, people, would you say, what is the percentage you should say people should look forward to us ever doing another album tournament?
I would do it. That's not a percentage, huh?
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah.
Can we take the summer?
Of course.
Can we reconvene in the fall? If we do it in the fall, I feel like I would 100% do it.
Okay. Well, let's all see what happens with that. So we will, like all good things, we'll end on a cliffhanger. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And in the meantime, everybody, please do go over subscribe if you haven't. I mean, we're at almost 2,100 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Hot damn.
Yeah, I feel like everybody who does listen to the show is probably subscribed to us on YouTube. But if you're not, make sure to do that.
And tell your friends.
Yeah, and then I don't know, maybe this fall. Well, I was just going to say something entirely wrong. I was going to say maybe this fall we'll do the album tournament as videos, but that's nope. I couldn't get you to do one video. I'm not going to get you to do a whole tournament of videos.
Maybe, and like you're going to have to write this down because I'm not going to believe you that I said that. What if we recorded the video part?
Right. We've always had the ability to do that. You have always asked me not to.
I've been against it.
Yes.
I know. So I'm just saying, like, now that I have enough time to get my brain around it.
Speaking of the video thing, we are like literally the only podcast that I can think of that I listen to or watch or whatever that doesn't have video. And we've still sustained a solid listener base just by being an audio based podcast.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the risk of sounding egotistical, it's the content is good.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? And I don't say that to sound like a dick. Like I do. I think we have good, engaging discussions that people would want to listen to. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And that's not to insult anybody who does run video on their show, because like you said, literally almost everybody but us runs video on their show. But, it's nothing I ever looked into.
I need a ring light and a better camera, and then maybe a green screen.
Let's start with revisiting just an audio album tournament this fall and see where we go from there.
You remind me of this in August.
Will do.
And then I'll get my poop in a group.
Will do. I will send you a clip of this very portion of this show where you said all of these things. All right. Well, from myself and Michelle and Kyle, we very much appreciate everybody who's listened so far. You heard it here first that Michelle says we are definitely having an album tournament in the fall of 2023. So keep hold of that until it comes to fruition. But like I say, we have, if you're newer to the show, by the way, there's a ton of back episodes of this show to go back to and listen to. There's like 160 some odd episodes before this one that you can go back and listen to. So there's no shortage of stuff to go listen to now. And then apparently, instead of us going away for good, we're just going to take a summer vacation and then come back with an album tournament, from what I hear. So
yeah, but also like I don't want to put any stress on you, Russ. So like,
oh no, it would be far different to do something like that. So
okay,
so
yes, so this is not goodbye. This is just see you later.
Right. Okay. So like we have said for the past 160 some odd episodes, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
The Infectious Groove Podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.